Okay, Shelley, we're hot? If you would, touch that microphone and make sure it's on. There we go. All right, if everyone would rise. Begin every one of our meetings with prayer and the pledge. We have two Mayor's Youth Council people here tonight. Please, yes, one will hear you.
Okay, I'm Carson Wofford. I'm a senior in East Rankin. I'm a part of the Mayor's Youth Council. Sorry. Okay. Do you want me to restart? Yes, sir.
Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you. Do you want me to restart? Okay. I'm Carson Wofford. I'm with Mayor's Youth Council. I'm a senior in East Rankin Academy. Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you for this day, and thank you for letting us be here, and just thank you for your many blessings, and just please help our country, and please help this meeting to go as you plan, and just thank you for all you've done, and just in Jesus' name I pray, amen.
If you wouldn't mind remaining standing for the pledge. My name is Joseph Bailey. I'm a senior at Brandon High School, and I'm a part of our Mayor's Youth Council. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Appreciate that. All right. Thank you, good folks, for coming out tonight as we work through the people's business. All right. You'll notice we're missing one board member. Mr. James Morris was called out of town earlier. So we have everyone else here. Appreciate you being here. This time we'll open up for public comment. Is there anyone here that would like to make public comment tonight? Seeing none, we will move on through the agenda. Old business, approve the regular board meeting minutes of September 21st, 2020. Motion by Ms. Monica Corley, second by Mr. Chris Vinson. Any questions on that or comment? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you very much. All right. Under the mayor, a couple of these we'll probably have some conversation on, just to make sure that the audience here tonight understands what we're doing. Item 1, consideration to approve the continuation of a local emergency for an additional 30 days or such time that the governor of the state of Mississippi lifts the state of emergency, whichever comes first. That's kind of standard quo the last 8 months. Item 2, consideration to approve a memorandum of understanding between the Department of Finance and Administration and the City of Brandon for the purpose of establishing an agreed upon conditions under which the DFA may disperse funds to assist the City of Brandon in the cost associated with the local project specified in Section 28 TT of Senate Bill 2969 2020 regular legislative session and authorize the mayor to execute the same. Short side of that is it's a downtown project. We received an extra $500,000 to put toward downtown. And Angela, being city clerk, has been working diligently to satisfy the state so we can secure those funds. That really helps us out in downtown with sidewalks, water, sewer, and everything else going on down there. Item 3, consideration to adopt a resolution of the City of Brandon, Mississippi regarding Segment 3 of the East Metro Corridor in Rankin County. We discussed this in work session. For those of you that came in late, we being the East Metro Commission, which is made up of Pearl, Flowood, the airport, and the City of Brandon, over time and due to thanks that we have for our legislature, we were able to secure $4.5 million toward that project this year. That means we have in the bank just north of $15 million. We are a little bit short. We have a gap of $877,000, and we're proposing for the City of Brandon to take on some of that cost, potentially. in FY '22, that's not this year that we're in right now, we're in FY '21, fiscal year '21, so that would be an expenditure in FY '22 and '23. We're going to continue to seek funds from the county, state, and federal government, and we may be able to offset that. And I feel confident, Board, that we're going to offset some of that in value engineering as we work through it. But that's what that's about, item 3. Item 4, consideration to approve the 2020 and 2021 Top Dog Scoreboard sponsorship, which we've done every year for $10,000 for Brandon High School. And item 5, consideration to approve support of the Mississippi Municipal League resolution opposing Initiative 65. Now, I asked Mr. Baker if he would shed a little bit of light on Initiative 65 for us. Mr. Baker, the ballot's going to be a little confusing, and we don't like confused people going to vote. So can you help us out a little bit, Mr. Baker?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With regard to Initiative 65, on the ballot, you will first be asked to vote whether you're in favor of or in opposition to the initiatives at all. And having cast your ballot in whatever form you do there, then the next question will be, regardless of if you answered yes or no, the next question will be, do you support Initiative 65 or Initiative 65A? And so the difference between the two is that Initiative 65 will be included, the language will be included in the Constitution. So if it's in the Constitution, to change it once it's in the Constitution will require another initiative. And so you remove any state oversight or control with regard to that, but more importantly, you remove a lot of local control over the location of where these dispensaries may be located within the city. Right now, on things like beer and light wine and alcohol, you have location restrictions with regard to where those things can be. Well, with 65, you will not have that control, but 65A will provide that particular control because there'll be state oversight and there'll be authority for the cities and counties to enact reasonable regulations with regard to that.
Okay, Board, so we have 5 items. Is there a motion to approve it? Motion approved by Mr. Harry Williams. Second by Ms. Talia Dobbs. Any further discussion, comment, or question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Thank you. Ms. Angela?
May I take these 4 items together?
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 1, spread onto minutes and approval letter from the Attorney General dated September 23rd regarding the interlocal cooperation agreement between the City of Brandon and West Rankin Utility Authority for the joint undertaking of sewer infrastructure repairs or improvements.
You're probably going to have to speak up so that our production manager, Ms. Shelley, can hear you back there.
Number 2, spread onto the minutes the East Metro Corridor Commission interlocal agreement and amendment, which was filed with the Chancery Clerk and includes the Attorney General approval letters dated June 13th, 2002 and October 30th, 2002. Number 3, consideration to approve a rental agreement with R.J. Young. It's a state contract vendor for a copier for located in community development. Number 4, consideration to approve the docket of claims for September 22nd, October 5th, and 6th. The electronic fund transfers for September and Fox Everett claims released July 2nd through September 24th.
Thank you, Ms. Angela.
And that is not a typo on 2002.
No, the AG letters were not, approval letters weren't in the minute book.
Mike Moore.
No, we had all the approvals are in the minutes. We just never had the fully executed agreements in the minutes, and it took me about a half a day to find them all down at the Chancery Clerk, so I said, let's throw them in the minutes. That way we'll know exactly where they are.
Motion to
approve, Mayor.
Motion to approve by Mr. Lou Coker. Second by Mr. Harry Williams. Any further comment or question on those 4 items? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Angela. Mr. Dodd. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. I have 4 items, permission to take the first 3 together and 4 separate.
Yes, sir.
Item 1 is consideration to approve a comprehensive sign plan for Kroger located at 1811 West Government Street. Were there any questions on that one? All right, item 2, set a public hearing for October 19th, 2020 during the regular board meeting with regard to the consideration of a conditional use application request for Edward Kemp for a secondary detached dwelling unit located at 2015 Guest Drive, which is Lot 4, Bryn Mawr Place. Item 3 is continue the recessed public hearing and action with regard to the consideration of a rezoning application request for the Cannon Company to rezone 2.68 acres of parcel J8-7-30 from CC Community Center Commercial to RM8 Suburban Mixed Neighborhood District to the regular board meeting on the 2nd day of November 2020.
Mr. Baker, we're continuing a recessed public hearing.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, it's my understanding that
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, it's my understanding that the applicant requested that the recessed public hearing be continued to another date certain. Apparently, they're still working through some information that they want to have to present at the public hearing.
That's correct.
That's all I know about it, Mr. Mayor. But we're correctly recessing these to date certain, and so the original publication will be satisfactory as long as we keep doing this. But this should be the last time, right?
I hope.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for that explanation. Is there a motion to approve those 3 items?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Chris Vinson, second by Ms. Monica Corley. Any further comment or question? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed,
The
like.
motion was to recess the public hearing.
No, it was to continue
Or to continue. Yes, sir. Yes. That's what it was.
All right. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Item 4.
Item 4 is the public hearing and board action with regard to the consideration of a variance application request for Sunpine Corporation Ltd. to reduce the side yard setback requirements for 609 West Government Street and 2 through 10 Overby Street.
All right, Mr. Baker.
Ms. Dodd, can you advise the board as to whether all the prerequisites to the public hearing have been met?
Yes, they have.
Was the matter presented to the Planning Commission?
It was.
What was the recommendation of the Planning Commission?
They recommended to approve the request pursuant to the staff report, along with getting a letter of approval from the school district.
Okay. And so did your department prepare a staff report in this matter?
Yes.
And is it a part of the package? And are you asking that it, together with the proof of publication of the public hearing and all related documents and things, be appended to the minutes of the public
Yes.
hearing? Okay. Would you generally describe the nature of the application?
Sunpine is requesting to subdivide the parcel I8J-51 into 2 parcels. Both parcels the single parcel has 2 existing structures. The proposed subdivision will subdivide the property into 2 parcels. The line will fall in between the 2 existing buildings. Both buildings at that point would have a setback of 4 feet. Our ordinance requires an 8-foot side yard setback, so they're requesting to reduce the side yard setback from 8 feet to 4 feet.
Okay. And I didn't read that condition in the staff report. I must have missed it. But when this comes to action, if the board is inclined to approve it, your request is that it be conditioned upon the receipt from of some kind of indication from the school district that they will conform those leases accordingly, or whatever.
Correct, that they have approved the proposed subdivision. Yes.
At this time, we'll open the public hearing to those who would desire to speak in favor of or in opposition to the application, or to provide any particular comment with regard to the same. We do have the information from the applicant, and the applicant is here. It's not necessary to hear from the applicant at this time because we have it in there, unless there's any additional information the applicant would like to offer at this time.
Yeah, the only thing we do in there is that the 2 buildings have the same address. Excuse me. That the 2 buildings that together is the same. And in the process I was going to dispose of one, the office building. I was keeping a little strip mall there, but being the same address, the man couldn't get his money because it's all one parcel. All we doing is Bart and them came and surveyed it, split it right down the middle, then we had to get the variance. But the school board has approved it, they just ain't got my letter and all. And for the lease, and Sunpine they have an office there in it, that's my son-in-law, and the lease was in his name, because I was going to change it over to him, he was going to buy it, but I decided to keep it. But that's all it is, we're not changing any structures or anything like that, just changing the line and changing the address.
Thank you, Mr. Daniels. If the board has any questions, I'll ask you at the close of the public hearing. Is there anyone else who desires to make any particular public comment with regard in favor of the application? Is there anyone here who desires to speak in opposition to the application? Is there anyone here who desires to make any particular public comment with regard to the application? Seeing none, Mr. Mayor, I ask the public hearing be closed.
All right, public hearing's closed. Board, do you have questions? Comment? Is there a motion to approve? Motion to approve by Ms. Monica Corley. Second by Mr. Dwight Middleton. Any further comment, question? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Smith, where art thou?
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening, sir. Charles came to me and decided he wanted to start having his own public meeting so he could have his own agenda.
16 items.
So board and audience, I got to tell you, the last 3 weeks it's been raining, not in the sense of water falling to the ground, but it's the ground is changing, the weather's changing, and sewer problems and water problems abound.
We got a lot going on.
But we're on it, right?
Yes,
We're on
absolutely.
it. Okay.
I do have an additional item that I talked to Ms. Bean about that I'm going to read in and add to this.
All right, we're going to do 1 through 5. Harry here asked that you do them one at a time, but we're just, I'm working for you up here,
I
Charles.
appreciate that,
1
Mayor.
through 5,
I
okay?
need all the help I can get. All right, 1 through 5. Item 1 is consideration to approve the utility adjustments and denials pursuant to the memo. Item 2 is request permission to hire Marcus Riley as a water labor 1 and Christopher Miller as a water labor 2, effective October 6th, and set rate of pay pursuant to the memo. Item 3 is to accept the bids received on September 25th, 2020, and award to Clear River Construction Company Incorporated as the lowest and best bid received in the amount of $1,037,693.55 with regard to the Highway 80 multi-use trail, pedestrian bridge, and drainage project, and authorize the mayor to execute any related documents. Item 4 is to accept the bids received on September 18, 2020, and award to NJ Farms Incorporated as the lowest and best bid received with regard to the FY21 concrete construction services commodity bid. And item 5 is accept the bids received on September 11, 2020, and award to Delta Industries with regard to FY21 concrete materials commodity bid.
Thank you, Charles. A little clarification there on number 3. That is a combination of 2 MPO projects. We talked about this in the work session too. Chris, I did some basic math. If it is 35%, which Mr. Miller, our city engineer, says it is back there, that puts us paying, even though we're awarding a bid of $1,037,693, the city's portion of that is $363,192. In other words, the rest of that is federal money that we get through MPO. We pay that and we get those monies back. So that's how that works. So audience, this is 2 projects combined into one. It is a transportation alternative project, which is a kind way to say bicycle and sidewalks. You'll be able to come down to Highway 80 on Woodgate, and there'll be a pedestrian crossing over Highway 80, pedestrian path that goes along the service drive in front of the Chevy dealership, down to a new bridge, pedestrian bridge that will go over the creek, Terrapin Skin Creek, to the library. That is on this end of town. The other pedestrian project will be in downtown, which will extend from Lewis Wilson, where we left off with the last project we did there at Trickle Bridge Road, and we'll come all the way into town. And Matthew, you're going to have to give, or Charles, you're going to have to give me the termini. Where does that end? Is it at College or, pardon me?
Timber, there's an
Timber Street.
existing sidewalk that'll be tied in with the project we have underway now.
Okay.
So it'll go up to Timber Street.
Yeah, Timber Street was pretty tore up this morning, and they're
Yes,
working
sir.
on it, but that's ongoing, that's progress, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the city's out 363 on that. I just want to be clear for that on board. So we got 5 items. Is there a motion to approve those 5 items? Motion by Ms. Monica Corley, second by Mr. Chris Benson. Any further discussion, comment, or question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Thank you. All right, Charles, next 5.
Item 6 is accept the reverse auction bids received on October 2nd, 2020, and award to Warren Vicksburg Stone with regard to the fiscal year 21 riprap limestone topsoil commodity bid. Item 7 is consideration to approve the professional services generator maintenance agreement with Puckett Power Systems in the annual amount of $15,815 and authorize the mayor to execute the same. Item 8 is consideration to approve Utility Constructors Incorporated pay request number 2 in the amount of $108,320.65 with regard to the downtown waterline improvement project and authorize payment of the same. Number 9 is consideration to approve change order number 1, increasing the project total by $20,709.12. Summary change order number 1, decreasing the project total by $7,576, and approve the final and first pay request in the total project amount of $154,628.12 with regard to the 2020 storm drain repair and replacement project, and authorize execution and payment of the same. Item 10 is consideration to approve the Harold Hall Roofing Incorporated invoice in the amount of $249,949.75 for repairs to the City Hall roof, which was approved on August 21st, 2020, and authorize payment of the same.
Thank you, Charles. Take a deep breath. Mr. Baker has a question for you on 9.
Yes.
Charles, can you advise the board as to whether all of the requirements under MCA 31713G have been met with regard to the change order, to wit, that it's being made in a commercially reasonable manner, not being made to circumvent the public purchasing statutes?
Yes.
Okay. And the previous declaration of an emergency on the roof was the 20th of August? Okay.
21st.
21st? Okay, I didn't have that in my thing. Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
All right. All right, board, items 6 through 10. Is there a motion to approve those requests? Motion by Mr. Harry Williams. Second by Ms. Talia Dobbs. Any further discussion, comment? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Thank you.
Mayor, I have 7 items left. Permission to take all those together. Item 11,
Wait a minute, I have 6,
I have 1 read-in.
and I have 1 question for you, so you may have another one when we
Okay.
get to it, okay? So just, you do your read-in, and I'll do my question at 18.
Okay. Item 11 is consideration to declare as an emergency the sewer main repair at Government Street and Lewis Wilson by Utility Constructors Incorporated in the amount of $16,079 and authorize payment of the same. Item 12 is consideration to declare an emergency the water line repairs at 61 Sycamore Lane by Utility Constructors Incorporated in the amount of $7,868.82 and authorize payment of the same. Item 13 is consideration to declare an emergency the water line repairs at Oak Crest and Timber Ridge by Utility Constructors in the amount of $9,129 and authorize payment of the same. Item 14 is consideration to declare an emergency the storm drain repair at 602 Bell Oak by Utility Constructors Incorporated in the amount of $7,763 and authorize payment of the same. Item 15 is consideration to declare as an emergency the sewer line stabilization at Richland Creek by Bernie Dirt and Gravel Incorporated in the amount of $16,575 and authorize payment of the same. Item 16 is to accept a permanent access and utility easement from Kennedy Farms LLC. The final item I have is number 17, which is a read-in item. It is asking for your consideration to approve the release of the letter of credit from Thornton Construction Company Incorporated in the amount of $65,000 for Cannon Ridge Part 9. The final wear surface is installed and all inspection checklist items have been completed.
I'm catching up, I'm sorry, Don.
It's all right, I'm writing too, that's okay.
Approve release of letter of credit from Thornton Construction Company for Canyon Ridge number 9.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
For Canyon Ridge.
Yes.
In the amount of, well, I don't guess the amount matters. We're releasing the letter of credit.
Correct. Yeah, it doesn't. It was for $65,000, but
Who with? Might know, pretend. Who was the letter of credit
who
with?
held the letter of credit?
Bank Foresight.
South.
You caught that?
Got it.
All right, so, question. So, we asked for board approval to crush concrete some 6 weeks ago,
Yes.
and we were told 2 to 3 weeks to mobilize to get here to take care of all that. And 6 weeks later, we haven't mobilized, we haven't begun. So I asked Charles this morning to contact number 2 vendor. This is a professional service agreement because they don't bring anything and they leave our stuff here. So it's really all it is. You're not, did you make that call? Have we reached a point in time where we can shift? We had asked for board permission earlier, Mark, and I can't remember who was that with?
It's with Mid-Delta.
Okay.
That's who we have a service agreement with.
Yeah.
I contacted Sunbelt and spoke with Ed Buckley. The pricing for the service would be the same. There's no pricing difference between the two companies. Mid-Delta's had some equipment issues. They're hoping they've got them worked through, but they can't guarantee that they'll be here. They say Thursday, but that's what we heard last week. I do believe that what they've told me is the truth, but the end result is they're not here yet. Sunbelt, who I spoke to today, should have me an answer tomorrow, whether or not they can move a unit over. But from a pricing standpoint, there's no difference in the service. It's $12 per ton with a 2,500 ton minimum. And that's the same pricing that we have with Mid-Delta.
Okay, Board, the reason why this is of concern to me is there's a lot that the McGee's have given us, if you remember that, a couple of work sessions back, many tons that they're going to lose at least. More importantly, though, it's in our plans to put the final wear surface on East Value Road. It's kind of the back door to Spears Crossing. And that final wear surface goes on that road, we're not going to be hauling that stuff out. So, or if it starts raining, we're not going to be able to get to it. So if we're going to take advantage of this opportunity, we got to get somebody to crushing stuff.
Can we do both? Or can you have professional service agreed for both?
The other was not exclusive. The only issue would be when you call one on, you're committing to a 2,500 ton minimum.
I see your point, and just don't.
But I mean, we're not gonna meet again if Sunbelt, or who'd you say?
Sunbelt, crush.
I just want to get it done. I don't want to wait till, I'm not being impatient,
He
but
won't know until tomorrow
Yeah.
whether or not Sunbelt can do it, so we either have to say, if we say, yeah, do Sunbelt, and then he calls tomorrow and they can't do it, does that do away?
would you give us authority to do either or?
Well, you've already got the authority in the minutes for the other, right?
Yes.
And so it's not an exclusive deal. So how about this action be to authorize the mayor to enter into a professional services agreement with Sunbelt for concrete crushing in the amount of $12 per ton with a $2,500 ton minimum? Is that right?
Yes.
That's a lot of concrete, isn't it?
Sure is. A lot of aggregate that you're getting for pennies. on the
But in any
Comparable-
event, then you don't have to do it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
authorized you to do it.
Okay.
Comparable product pricing for that material is over $34 a ton. So we're at about a third, a little more than a
No,
third.
I just don't know. I can't picture what 2,500 tons is. I don't, is it to fill this room or?
It's a big pile.
Okay.
We use a lot of it.
5 of these rooms.
Wow.
All right. Oh, yeah. You use it on every sewer line, every water, everywhere. You use it
Every
everywhere.
road repair.
All right. So, board, are we good with that understanding? Everybody understand? Mr. Baker, you got something worded properly?
I've got it as an agenda item as I read it, Mr. Mayor. I think that'll work.
Okay. So I'd like to add item 18 to what Charles just espoused.
All right, so in the last tranche, I have items 8:11 through 8:18.
Correct.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Mr. Chris Benson, second by Mr. Lou Coker. Any further thought, question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Thank you, Charles. Appreciate
Thank
you
you.
working through that.
Thank you, board.
Thanks, Charles.
Who? Oh, I forgot that. Yeah.
Good evening, Board.
Good evening. How are you?
Do you see it?
Throwing you off a little bit, me and Chief Thompson, we swapped places tonight. He gonna go last through the promotions he has. Think so? I'm gonna start off with a monthly report. Our siren report functioned properly. We had 3 that did not, but as of 4:45 this afternoon, they're all corrected and fixed. So they are functioning properly now. We had 165 priority 1 calls this month, with an average response time of 8 minutes and 1 second. Number 2, request authorization to for the drive shaft repairs of the 99 Pierce Quantum fire engine from fire service equipment in accordance with the MCA section 31-7-13 in the amount of $6,638.36 and authorize the payment of the same.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate the report. Keep up the good work. Is there a motion to approve that item? Motion by Ms. Talia Dobbs. Second by Mr. Dwight Middleton. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Good evening, Board. Mayor, I have 3 items. Would you like me to take these together?
Please, sir.
Item 1, consideration to declare $1,143,690 as forfeited funds and authorize deposit into the drug seizure fund and declare the personal property referenced therein as forfeited property and authorize disbursements to the Rankin County District Attorney's Office and the Rankin County Sheriff's Department and claimant pursuant to the memo. Item 2, consideration to promote Lieutenant Dan Carter to Captain, Sergeant Joseph French to Lieutenant, and Officer Drew Decker to Sergeant effective October 5th and adjust salary pursuant to the memo. Item 3, request permission to purchase 1 3D high-resolution crime scene camera kit from L-Tron Corporation, a sole source vendor, in the amount of $9,613.95 and authorize payment of the same.
You do. Chief, Mr. Baker has some questions.
Sir,
Chief, I didn't read the full action that you're asking for the board, but there is also personal property. You're asking that that be from item 9.1. You're asking that that be placed on the city's inventory and that you also, the department is also authorized to obtain a certificate of title as necessary. And then you're asking for the monetary disbursements pursuant to 4129-181 to Rankin County District Attorney and the Rankin County Sheriff's Department, and the remittance of certain funds as set forth in the agreed order.
absolutely, yes, sir.
Satisfied?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we got 3 items. The mayor's being heckled. Oh, all right, here we go.
Mayor's gonna be driving 18 well.
Negative, sir. All right, so, there's a motion to approve those 3 items?
So move.
Motion by Mr. Lou Coker, second by Ms. Monica Corley. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. All right, board, at this time, we're going to ask those officers to come forward and be pinned. Oh, that's what the, that's not what this is about to be about. So if you gentlemen, if you folks would, come on down. Water's just fine. I know you don't want to, but you gotta. You and everybody that's gonna do the pinning, just come on. It's a family affair. Come on.
Yes, officers being promoted and who is pinning, you come forward, please. Stand up here, please.
Chief, you got a few words you want to say?
I do. Gonna read the promotion
Well,
warrant.
let's let everybody
Stand
get
beside
settled
him.
first. All right.
All right, I'm going to read the promotion warrant for these fine officers. To all who shall see these presents, greetings. Know that ye that reposing special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Drew Decker, Joseph French, and Dan Carter, I do hereby appoint them sergeant, lieutenant, and captain respectively of the Brandon Police Department to rank as such from the 5th day of October 2020. These officers will therefore carefully and diligently discharge the duties of the office to which appointed by doing and performing all manner of things thereunto pertaining. And I do strictly charge and require these officers and other personnel of lesser rank to render such obedience as due an officer of this grade and position. These officers are to observe and follow such orders, directives from time to time as given by me or any future chief in accordance with the laws of the state of Mississippi and the United States of America. Ladies, pin 'em. Mayor?
All right, so, just as the examples of professionalism are every day, you don't see them, I'm telling you, and I'll give you a very recent example. Was Saturday. There was a pursuit coming in out of Louisiana. I don't know how many parishes it went through. I don't know how many counties it took of an escaped convict that had gotten in a car. I don't know how he made it, but he was arrested right here at 56 when they spiked his car.
Officer that made that stop, raise his hand.
So, evidenced by the work he's doing in interdiction out there on the interstate, that's not very proud of your effort. Very proud of your effort, the things you've done with dispatch and everything. Every other challenge that we put before you and ask you to do, you just trotted right through it, just like it's nobody's business. So just keep on cutting butter. So we had conversations with these people before these promotions, asking for, you're gonna be long-term employees, right? Not 20 years, we understand that. You maybe 30. But you don't make promotions for people that are going to be with you for 2 to 3 years. These people are making a commitment, and their families are making a commitment to be here for you and for the citizens of Brandon. And I and this board really appreciate all of you, especially you two ladies. Thank you very, very much, okay? Again, one more round of applause. All right.
And I think the chief deserves a pat on the back for his leadership.
Yes, he does.
And how he's grown this department.
Oh, geez. All right. Board would like to entertain a motion to go into executive session. Determine the necessity of being in executive session. Motion by Mr. Harry Williams. Second by Ms. Monica Corley. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you. You get your picture.
Just let her tell me so I can announce the votes.
Okay, are we in? We are back out of executive session, and Mr. Baker has an announcement.
Mr. Mayor, there were 2 votes in executive session, one dealing with personnel matters and one dealing with the economic development issues that we went into executive session for.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. All right, this concludes our meeting, and we will adjourn until, what's our next meeting, Angela? October 19th. All right, so thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Ms. Monica Corley, second by Mr. Harry Williams. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, board, for being here. Appreciate it very much.